So we're going to quickly review the difference between a coefficient and an exponent. And as you should know, this number here is a coefficient, and this number here is an exponent. So most importantly, coefficients are used to represent repeated addition. So the coefficient tells you how many times to add whatever the thing is after it. So since we see 4 times x, the number 4 tells us to set up 4 boxes. And then because it's a coefficient, we know we connect them with repeated addition. And the thing that we're putting in each of those boxes is the letter x. So more succinctly, we should see that 4x is rewritten as x plus x plus x plus x. So there are 4 x's being added in a row. Exponents are used, and it's most important to remember, for repeated multiplication. So just to make sure that you know your vocabulary, of course this little number here is the exponent. But the thing the exponent is on is called the base. So an exponent tells you to, if I write this, I'm going to use green, multiply the base this many times by itself. So when I see the number 4, so we're going to expand this. So if I had x to the 4th, which I'm just going to rewrite with some more room down here. So x to the 4th, because there's an exponent of 4, I know that I'm going to need 4 things. Now because it's an exponent, I'm going to connect them with repeated multiplication. So I'm going to put a multiplication sign between those 4 boxes, and the thing that goes inside every box is the base of x. So x to the 4th can be rewritten as x times x times x times x. So we can use those 2 examples and definitions to help us generalize to expanding any expression with coefficients or exponents. So the first thing we want to do, whether we have coefficients like we do in example 1 here, or whether we have exponents that we do in example number 2 here, what I recommend first is making the correct number of boxes, which is determined by the coefficient or the exponent. So if we do example number 1 here, the coefficient, this means we need 4 boxes because that coefficient comes first. So I'm going to write 4 boxes. That's step number 1. Now we need to connect those boxes with the appropriate operation. And we know that if it's using a coefficient, that's repeated addition. So I'm going to connect the boxes with addition. The last step to expanding an expression like this would be to fill the boxes with the correct term or expression. So we use the coefficient to create the number of boxes. So what was after the coefficient is what goes in the boxes. So here, -6 is what goes in the boxes. So we're going to put -6 in all of those boxes. And of course we can check our work. We know that 4 times -6 is -24. And down here, if I were to add -6 plus -6 plus -6 plus -6, that does give us -24. When we approach example number 2, here's our exponent. So it's going to tell us how many boxes to make. Since the exponent is 4, we are going to make 4 boxes. Step number 2 would be determining the appropriate operation to put in between those boxes. And since we see exponents, we know exponents are used for repeated multiplication. So I'm going to connect those boxes with a multiplication symbol. The last step is filling in the boxes. In this case, whatever the base is goes in the boxes. So what do I need to multiply 4 times? This thing called x. So I'd put x in the box 4 times. So we have expanded x to the 4th as x times x times x times x. Just 2 more quick examples. If we start with example number 3, what we notice is that the coefficient is the number 5. So we are going to create 5 boxes in this case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, because it's a coefficient, we are going to add those boxes together because coefficients mean repeated addition. So then what am I putting inside every box? The thing I'm putting in every box is what comes after the coefficient, which in this case is negative 2x. So there's a negative 2x in that box, this box, this box, this box, and this box. And again, we can check our work. If we just multiply, this would give us negative 10x. If we combined all the x's here, there are negative 10 x's. So either way, we get the same answer. The last example over here, again, we can see that there's an exponent. So our base is 4. The exponent is 5. So since the exponent is 5, that means we make 5 boxes. After we have 5 boxes, step number 2 would tell us to connect them with the appropriate operation. And since we're using exponents, exponent means repeated multiplication. So I'm putting a multiplication sign in between all of the boxes. And then step number 3 is fill in the boxes with the correct term or expression. In this case, our base is 4, so we're going to fill all those boxes with the number 4. And we can verify this. If you were to go to your calculator and type in 4 to the 5th power, you will get 1,024. If you were to go to your calculator and type in 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, you will also get 1,024.